A few months back, actually, quite a few months actually, I actually had meant to just give my 2 cents on this, but I forgot to. Well, either I forgot to, or I was doing something, or I decided, you know what, fuck it, maybe it isn't worth my time. I just decided to do it now. But regardless, there was this story doing the rounds that apparently Chris Avellone, who was one of the people involved with Fallout New Vegas, one of the probably the best of the Fallout games, and also someone who I'm pretty sure the people are trying to whitewash now, because whenever I go to look on the wiki about the game, it looks like they've tried to purge a couple mentions of him, or it looked that way at first. So yeah. But Chris Allen, he apparently had pitched a number of ideas for games. He wanted to do like similar to what New Vegas was for Fall. Like it was like not a full game; it was more like a .5 or something of a game. Like that's what New Vegas kind of is. In a way, it doesn't really affect the main thing of the game or the storyline or whatever. Or I think it's hard to remember exactly, but yeah, he pitched that, and Bethesda declined this. And here's the funny thing: and I've made no secret about this. I fucking hate Bethesda. They're scum. They're douchebags, especially Pete Hines. Todd Howard, I suspect he is also a douchebag, but that's just a suspicion. I have no proof. Pete Hines, I have proof of because of what he said after he finally admitted they had canceled Prey 2. I know he's a douchebag because of the excuses he made, and the excuses he made for Fallout 76. Fuck him. But here's something funny that I find about this, and this isn't just my sentiment, it's another YouTuber sentiment also. His name is, I think, Luke Stevens. Like, the thing about Bethesda is they and Obsidian, the people who made New Vegas with Chris Avellone involved, it's kind of like, as Luke put it, like, imagine you have a guy who was kind of popular in high school, but he didn't get very far. He probably has a good garbage disposal business, and his brother did even better. And everyone's asking him about how his brother's doing because he's done so much better than him. He's like, why are you asking me about this? I'm trying to live my life. That's Bethesda in a nutshell. Like, people are always like, when are we going to get a Fallout New Vegas 2 or something like New Vegas? And Bethesda's just so, because they suck. I'm not going to lie. They suck at making games. Like, the game they are associated with being the game they are associated with that has sold consistently is Skyrim. That's because they keep fucking releasing it. That's it. Like, and it takes them so fucking long to do a game. Like, New Vegas was made over the course of at least maybe 2 years at best, or a year. That's how long they had to work on it. It takes Bethesda 4 fucking years to make a game sometimes. That's how much they suck as developers. That's how much they suck as game makers. This is how much they suck in terms of productivity. But then you look at Obsidian or Human Head Studios, who were developing Prey 2. They were almost done with their game when Bethesda started fucking with them. They fucked with them when they were almost done, apparently. Like, they were near the end of development. And we could have had a fucking awesome game. And because of Bethesda, because they wanted to own them, I've been cock-blocked of another awesome bounty hunter game. Just like 1313. But anyway. I believe that Bethesda scrapped all these pitches Avalon made because, for that reason, it's pettiness. Because they're petty people. Like, don't believe me? I told the story once before, but when New Vegas was being developed, Bethesda promised them a bonus if they got a certain metric score, or Metacritic score. They missed that score by 1 point. 1 fucking point. Now, granted, if you're following the rule of the letter of the deal, then yeah, that makes sense. But if you're not looking at it in that way, then yeah, it struck me as like, well, you didn't make it, so we're not giving you that because you missed by 1 fucking point. They're that anally retentive, sadistic to me. They're like that one guy in the office who likes to fuck with you because he has nothing better to do. Like, yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Or, yeah, I'm going to need you to stay a little bit later than usual. Because they have nothing fucking better to do. Like, they're that kind of douchebag. And Bethesda, yeah, fuck them. But I think they did not want to go with that idea that Avalon pitched because, quite frankly, it would have made them look worse than they already did. Because, yeah, in hindsight, when people look back on the games they've made, like Skyrim and Fallout 4, like, forget 76. Like, I prefer to ignore the existence of 76. Hell, I treat that game like the illegitimate bastard child of the Fallout franchise. It does not exist officially as far as I'm concerned. That is why I think they denied it, is because they know Obsidian will make a good game, especially if they're given a longer deadline to work with. Because Bethesda, they give themselves a long ass deadline, and they make piss poor quality games. For example of this, I would still report it. I would point to Starfield, but I haven't played it. But from what I've seen of the footage of it, yeah, it was glitchy as hell, as a lot of their games usually are when they first come out. Apparently, like 4 was a problem with this. 76 apparently had a problem with this. To be fair, New Vegas also had a problem with this, but again, they didn't have that long to work on and to trim out the bugs. They had to do that later, and then they didn't get to fix all the fucking bugs. So yeah, I believe Bethesda just scrapped it because they knew if they greenlit this, Todd Howard and his buddies at Obsidian, they would bend them over a barrel and show them the 50 states creatively. And honestly, I would pay money to see that actually, just to see them get put to shame again. Because Bethesda, actually, this isn't just a Bethesda problem. This is also something that kind of happened as a result of Todd Howard. Apparently, like I remember the guy who originally made the Elder Scrolls game. He went away because his style of doing things and Howard, or whoever's in charge at the time, their style were two different styles. And the other guy's style went out, and this guy who made Elder Scrolls, he just left. I can't remember. I remember I was watching an interview with him, or not an interview, but a video about what he said a few days ago. And it was actually an interesting interview. But so yeah, that style of way of doing, and his way of doing it sounds even fucking better. Like Todd Howard's is the most cheap, mundane, tripish version. Like sure, Skyrim's big and all, but it feels empty, soulless, kind of like modern music. And it kills me because yeah, I would pay for a more rich world of an Elder Scrolls because I read the lore of Elder Scrolls. Hell, I've gone back to read it more recently when I was working on a story, and I fucking love the lore that was made before Skyrim and sort of Morrowind, because these games give you choices. Like it gave an option of saying what you were. It didn't just say, "What you don't like the Neverrain tough titties, bitch tits. You're the Neverrain. You're the Dragonborn." Like you don't get to decide what you are. You don't get to make your way in the world. It's made for you ahead of time, and that's it. Like it's really annoying. What was I again? Oh yeah. So I think Obsidian probably would have given us that better of an option, or maybe not. Like this is speculation; it's up in the air. But I do think if Obsidian had been allowed to do this, it would have been better. Hell, it wasn't even like this would have hurt them in the long run. It might have gotten them some goodwill, especially today, because like they ain't got much goodwill now, unless you're a shill or a fanboy or a fantard, one of the three. So yeah, if when I heard this news, I was like, you know what, this doesn't surprise me, but you know what? It's just another reason why I fucking hate Bethesda. They are douchebags. They are petty, vindictive douchebags. No different than the online trolls who want you canceled for saying something they don't like for half a second. But yeah, that's my overall thought. And I had no idea where I was going with this because there was no plan. But yeah, fuck it. Have a nice day. Remember, the game is written from the start.